For people who require interpretation to English or Spanish, both languages, the headsets are in the back of the room. And if you're new to the space, please sign in and join our mailing list. We have them on the table. And we also have English materials that can be found at the sign-in table. We're about to start our meeting, and I'm going to pass it on to our chair, Malia.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone for coming to our May CSC meeting. Today is May 6th. We're going to go ahead and start our meeting with our roll call. If you could just raise your hand and speak loudly. Project lead for City of Richmond.
Present.
Project lead for Grid Alternatives. Project lead for Groundwork Richmond. Awesome. Project lead for Rich City Rides. Present. Project lead for Trust for Public Land. Present. Project lead for UC Berkeley. Okay, not present. Project lead for Urban Tilt. Present. Community member Tomasa. Present. Community member Juana Hernandez. Present. Community member Montserrat Gonzalez. Community member Judith Roca. Here. Awesome. Present. Community member Curtis Rice. Present. Community member Jim Becker. Not present. And then our youth fellows will be joining us next meeting. All right, so test. Okay, great. Awesome. So a little bit of meeting information about these public meetings. They are the first Wednesday of every month from 6 to 8 p.m. In-person attendance is at the Nevin Community Center. The address is listed right there. For virtual attendance, you can find the link on the City of Richmond website. The link is also available in this PowerPoint presentation. For phone attendance, the phone number is listed also on the slide. And then all community members and members of the public must abide by the community agreements, which are also listed on this slide and on the City of Richmond website. So we're going to go ahead and round robin for the land acknowledgement, and I'll begin. So we further acknowledge the exploitation of immigrant and refugee communities as modern forms of cheap and disposable labor are regularly carried out. While Richmond Rising seeks to strengthen the economy, improve public health and environment, particularly in the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods, we do so with the awareness that we occupy unceded Wichan and Karkin Ohlone territory. And I'm going to pass it along.
We acknowledge that land theft of indigenous homelands and the dismantling of indigenous sovereignty was done to advance colonization.
We acknowledge that capitalism and white supremacy are branches of we acknowledge that capitalism and white supremacy are branches of colonizations that have persisted throughout hundreds of years of oppression, are alive today, and contribute to keeping Black, Indigenous, and all people of color from thriving.
We further acknowledge that this country's political economy and social institutions were built on the forced labor of African people on the stolen land through violent, systemic abduction from their homelands and enslavement over hundreds of years.
Oh God, where are we?
Okay. We further acknowledge the exploitation of immigrant and refugee communities as modern forms of cheap and disposable labor are regular carried out on stolen land.
Thus, we acknowledge that we have been impacted and harmed by these histories and experiences imposed on our ancestors and communities. We further uplift the shared struggle among Black, Indigenous, and all people of color.
We also acknowledge that Indigenous people continue to live here, store the land, and resist settler colonialism. We conclude that our land acknowledgement is an active and an evolving statement and process. It requires us to recognize historical injustices and invites us to be active participants in our collective healing.
We still have the last slide. This one? I think. Right here. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So now as we move on, just a little bit about Richmond Rising. So the city of Richmond and 6 local organizations, together known as Richmond Rising, received a $35 million grant to bring health, economic, and environmental benefits to the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods. Richmond Rising is supported by the California Strategic Growth Council's Transformative Climate Communities program. Sorry, we're trying to keep up on the one more. A little bit also about the Collaborative Stakeholder Committee. So it provides guidance on project implementation and holds us accountable in reaching our goals, can make recommendations, provide input, and assist project leads in implementing project activities. Does not have a final decision-making authority, though, and project leads must consider recommendations from the committee and members of the public. So now we're going to move on to public comment not on the agenda. So are there any community members in the audience who wanted to make a public comment question? Okay, so it looks like we don't have any public comment that's not on the agenda, so I'll go ahead and move on. We're now going to move on to reviewing and approving previous meeting minutes. So do I have a motion to approve last meeting's minutes? Oh.
Maybe this is public comment? I don't know. Is this a public comment? Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to backtrack our time schedule and everything, but hello, everybody. My name is Yvonne Arriaga. I am the treasurer for our PTA at Lincoln Elementary School. And just coming to the meeting, I wanted to see if there's anybody in Oliver Coab, Richmond Rising who would be interested in coming out to tabling at our Children's Day Fair. It is our first one in the works, and we'd like to extend an open invitation to anybody who'd like to come and participate at our school May 21st from 2:30 to 4:30. I have plenty more details. I would love Richmond Rides, City Rides to be there. But yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Grid Alternatives would love to. I'll meet with you after to get information.
Thanks, Mbesa. Does anyone else from the table want to say anything? We'll ask all the partners. We'll send an email to see if anyone else wants to join.
Thank you so much. Okay, are there any other public comments before we move on to motioning last meeting's minutes? Okay, awesome. All right, so like I said, we're going to review and approve previous meeting minutes. So can I get a motion to approve last meeting's minutes? Awesome. So it's moved by Mbesa. And then now,
She's asking if we have one.
okay, yeah. And then,
Sorry. It's okay. We do have quorum. We need 9 people out of the 17 that we have. We don't have the youth fellows because they just finished their program, and we're gonna meet the new cohort next meeting in June. So we will be getting those nominations. That's why it feels so empty, because we don't have the youth fellows, and we don't have 2 community members in UC Berkeley who are missing today. Pero sí tenemos.
All right, awesome. And then seconding the motion, I saw Curtis Rice seconds the motion. Perfect, awesome. All right, and then go ahead and moving on, we're going to, we're going to go ahead and vote to motion. Okay. All right, awesome. It looks like
That's fine.
it looks like we have majority vote to,
Just one abstention from.
yeah, and then one abstention.
Thanks, Logan.
Thank you. All right, and then now we can move on to project status reports. So each of our partners will share up-to-date financials and grant expenditures to date for each project, and this will be shared with the committee and the public. All right, so we will start with our grantee.
Thank you, Melia. So for on the city of Richmond side, we are the grantee of the Richmond Rising Collaborative. So we make sure that that we host community meetings. We have hosted 26. Welcome to our 26th meeting out of 52. We're starting to put numbers so that you know where we're at the grant, because these are some of the outcomes that we have to complete. We have submitted invoice 16, and we have that means 16 out of the 30 but monthly reports that we have to submit. So just letting you know that we're one month after the half of the grant. So that's for everyone to understand where we're at. So we're halfway of the grant. Congratulations, everyone. Thanks for the collaboration. The Air District Bay Repair Catalyst Grant application is being coordinated. I think most people in this table from the organizations have been part of the application. Groundwater Richmond, Grid Alternatives, the City of Richmond, Rich City Rights, and actually TPL on a separate grant are applying to this grant. So we're planning to bring more resources to the community, hopefully, and continue some of the programs that we're working on, and also in adding new ones to the group of projects that are improving air quality and improving resilience in our community. For people who don't know, the Air District is putting out a grant application, and it's a grant for up to $15 million for the Catalyst grant, opportunity grants up to $5 million, and the seed collaborative grants, if there's other nonprofits or someone who's interested, that's up to $200,000. I forgot to mention Urban Tilt. Sorry, Shino, I did not see you at the table, but Urban Tilt is also applying for the Air District grant. They're doing a separate application for the North Richmond Farm and other projects together with Rich City Rights, and together with the county. Or is that accurate? Shino, but if any nonprofit has interest or knowing more about this, you can talk to us. We're happy to share. We have been bringing the information about the grant. I don't know that we have it here today, but if anyone needs more information, please let us know. You probably see some changes in the presentation. Our total expenditure up to date is $469,000. Our remaining budget is $224,000. Planned work in the next 2 weeks is we're going to send you the information for invoice 17, which means we're getting ready for the next invoicing period. We are also going to submit Neighborhood Complete Streets memo to the Strategic Growth Council. As you probably know, we've been bringing additional money to two of the complete street projects, meaning those projects that are going to bring bike and pedestrian infrastructure, as well as tree planting and other improvements to the streets. And the Neighborhood Complete Streets project is under the city's coordination, and we still need authorization from the state to increase our design fees and to be able to add more scope to this project. I'm going to go next with Neighborhood Complete Streets because that's also city project. The work completed since last meeting. We have been continuing coordination with Public Works to reallocate the funds for the additional design work, as I mentioned. We also met with Caltrans, that's the Department of Transportation agency from the state of California, to work with the right-of-way, which is, the permission that we need to be able to do construction in the city. We also met with the NEPA team, which is the team that is doing the environmental analysis, because now we have federal funds. So now we need to get approval from the National Environmental Agency. So we need to do that. And then we also met with the local assistant team. So this is a team that is helping us get the federal grant. We're going to go through Caltrans to receive these funds. And we are updating the plans. We're around 90%. So we will be receiving in the next 2 weeks the 90% plans, and we will start the RFP draft for the second phase of the project. The project has been split into two parts. The first one is going to be built sooner, probably around the same time that Richmond Wellness Trail, and the second phase will be out of the TCC grant since the funds have increased so much that we are just doing one part of it during the TCC timeline. For total expenditures up to date, $311,000. Remaining budget, $4.8 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. As I mentioned, the request for proposals for the second phase of the project.
Thank you so much, Beatrice. And then now we're going to move on to the Richmond Wellness Trail.
For the Richmond Wellness Trail, we've also participated in the same meetings as the city with Caltrans and NEPA. Since we're doing those together, we've also completed photometric studies for wired versus solar lighting options throughout the corridor. We've done warrant analyses for crosswalks and pedestrian refuge islands at Regatta Ave. Another analysis done at Hall Ave, and then we've also received a progress set in preparation for an all-hands meeting with city departments. Next slide. Thank you. Our total expenditures to date are $444,000, and we have about $4.3 million left. In the next 2 weeks, our planned work is continued design and project coordination for the city all-hands meeting, and we now have the warrant analysis for signalization of Hall Avenue.
Thank you so much. Miley, do you want to do e-bike? All right, awesome. I'm going to pass it to Miley to feedback for the e-bike lending library.
Hi, everyone. Our work performed since last meeting as we conducted outreach at the Cinco de Mayo event. We applied for the Union Pacific grant. We continued to work on the Opportunity Grant with Urban TILF as our lead. We are participating in an outreach event for the Richmond EV event, and will continue to do so throughout their entire outreach series. We've also continued to do, We've also continued to do outreach and engagement with the City of Richmond City Council members. Our total expenditures reported to date are approximately $300,000. Our remaining budget is $2.1 million. Our planned work in the next 2 weeks is finish and submit our opportunity grant. Continue to do outreach at Juneteenth Festival and Parade on Saturday, June 20th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Nickel Park. We're also going to prepare for our City Council presentation.
Thank you so much, Miley. I'm going to pass it to Mbessa from Report Back from Grid Alternatives.
Thank you so much. Good evening for the Resilient Homes team. The work completed since the last meeting have been installation of 2 homes with solar panels, one of which has been turned on, interconnected, and one awaiting that. We held a solar workshop at the Nevin Center. Please excuse the typo, on 4/29/26 last week right here. Participated in the Earth Day event. We participated in the Cinco de Mayo event this weekend as well. We'll continue to conduct the bi-weekly canvassing efforts throughout the project area. There's some Earth Day tabling at a Roots baseball game. Attended the Bay Area Air District Community Info meeting for the Opportunity Grant that we have applied for. And while it's not on the screen, I'm also just announcing that we are launching our training program, IBT training program within the service area, which is going to begin in October. I have flyers here that I'd love to pass out as well. People not only get training on installation, on solar basic installation training, but they also get awarded $3,200 stipend upon graduation. Let me see what else. Next slide. Can find it here. Total expenditures to date are 1.5 million with a remaining budget of 5.3 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. Planning for uh, a solar workshop with the city of Richmond at the city council building. Planning and meeting with Urban Tills to plan another summer workshop event and biweekly canvassing within the service area, and also concluding our opportunity grant submissions. Thank you.
All right, Urban Tilth. Basins of Relations, work completed since last meeting. They serviced 4 homes, installed 4 drip irrigation systems for Iron Triangle homeowners, and installed drought-tolerant landscaping grown by our team. Performed outreach at community gatherings and canvassed local neighborhoods to find interested and eligible homeowners. Total expenditures to date, about 500,000. Remaining budget, 1.1 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. 2 water conservation system installations are planned for Iron Triangle homeowners and ongoing outreach in search of eligible community members. Oh no, what happened? Okay, I'm going to keep going. Universally accessible community garden. Work completed since last meeting. Construction update. Construction has not begun, but we've walked the site with the team and the contractor to plan for mobilization and a groundbreaking ceremony. So stay tuned for that. Total expenditures reported to date, about 119,000, and the remaining budget is 835,000. Planned work in the next 2 weeks, finalize and sign the construction contract, and plan the groundbreaking ceremony. Very exciting. Orchard for All, work completed since last meeting. Hosted Orchard for All training program graduation to celebrate the completion of a successful 6-week program, graduating 4 apprentices. Congratulations to them. Started the fruit tree pickup at the North Richmond Farm and have given away 148 fruit trees. Service 54 trees in the project area. That includes planting, pruning, and amending soil or other care. Hosted a pruning and tree care class to Atchison Village Garden Club and Richmond High School agriculture classes. Total expenditures reported to date, 317,000, and the remaining budget is a little under 53,000. Planned work in the next 2 weeks, harvest 120 pounds of fruit, service 10 homes, and service 50 trees. That's a lot of trees in 2 weeks. Veggie RX, work completed since last meeting. 100 produce boxes have been distributed. Hosted the first climate-friendly diet workshop of the Fierce Advocate series on April 9th. The veggie giveaway at Unity Park Earth Day on April 18th. Hosted climate-friendly diet workshop on nutrition and farming at the Richmond Rising Hub on April 23rd. And continued training cohort number 5 of climate health promoters. Total expenditures to date, a little over 1.2 million. Remaining budget, 2 million. Planned work in the next 2 weeks. Host workshop number 3 of the Climate Friendly Diet series with Fierce Advocates. Topics of pollution, nutrition, and climate talk with Dr. Rohini J. Har. And that's going to be Thursday, May 14th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Richmond Rising Hub, I think. Graduate climate health promoters on May 16th and plan for final workshop of the Climate Friendly Diet series on May 28th.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to pass it to groundwork.
Thank you. So I don't know if y'all have noticed all the new trees that were planted around the Nevins Center. We planted 25 trees in the park, and we're also planting trees around the blocks. So keep an eye out for our trees so they don't get vandalized. Thanks. And so this month we've planted 16 new trees, non-residential trees. So at Nevin Park, on the Greenway, and on McDonald right away. 15 new trees planted in residential homes. And we did have a couple trees vandalized at JFK Park that we will be replacing later this month. And we continue to meet with the city to coordinate tree planting. There's some new projects over at Booker T and Crescent Park, so we'll be doing some tree planting there. And shout out to the Richmond Youth Academy who helped us out on Earth Day to plant some new trees out there. So far, we've spent about $341,000. We have $750,000 remaining. We're going to continue to canvass for our Adopt a Tree program. We have our green team that's starting this summer. We're working with YouthWorks. They're going to help us gather participants for the program. We were hoping to start in June, but we might have to push it out a little bit. But just keep an eye out for that. And we're also hiring a program manager. I forgot to put it up there. But if you're interested in that position, we have more information on our website and our social media platforms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorena. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Beatrice to report out.
Thank you so much, Melia. The e-bike share system that is available from the city side together with right today. The work that we completed since last meeting is coordination with the transportation staff regarding additional funding programs. Also collaboration with this staff to draft staff report for city council and continued maintenance of hubs and bikes. Salma, who's the project manager of that program, is here in case you have any questions and you would like to know more about the e-bike share system that right today is helping us to establish. Please let her know. The expenditures reported up to date, it's $606,000. The remaining budget that we have is $392,000. The planned work in the next two meetings is attend the next council meeting to address the funding gaps that we have for this program. This is not specifically for TCC, but for the overall city operation program. Before I give back the mic, before I give it back, I just want to let everyone know that we have more burritos here. If you didn't get any food, we're responsible for this. But if you're hungry, please grab more. I'm gonna pass it back to Melia.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beatrice. I'm going to be reporting out on behalf of our Richmond Rising Youth Fellows on our community engagement plan. So our work completed since last meeting, we had 6 youth fellows who have been officially onboarded to the Youth Fellow program. Me and Gabby are continuing to do recruitment and outreach in person, virtually, and through social media. Again, the deadline has been extended. So we really want to fill those spots and give those opportunities to more community members. It's just been a little bit difficult because the project area is very specific and there's only like 2 high schools like within our project area. So it's a little bit difficult. So the youth fellow applications are still open. Many youth applicants meet the age requirement, but don't meet the project area requirement, which has been a challenge during recruitment. Youth fellows participated in the following so far. So we did an introductory kickoff meeting to the Youth Fellow program. We did community building exercises. Those are super fun. Richmond Rising Youth Fellow program expectations and tasks. And then we started to dive a little bit into climate equity, which we'll be finishing next session. The Youth Fellows also tabled and got a little taste of what it's like to be a Youth Fellow at the Cinco de Mayo celebration on 23rd Street this past weekend. Our total expenditures reported to date, $627,000. Our remaining budget is about $1.9 million. Our planned work in the next 2 weeks. So the Youth Fellows will receive 2 additional trainings from me and Gabby for the month of May. They will also assist the city of Richmond in preparing swag bags for Bike to Wear Every Day, which we will be supporting. Me and Gabby will be tabling at Sylvester Greenwood Academy during their lunch to recruit for potential Youth Fellow applicants. We will also be hosting an Energizer station to Bike Wherever Day on May 14th outside of Sylvester Greenwood Academy in the Santa Fe area. And then something that I do want everyone to really tune into is Gabby and I are holding a collaborative brainstorming session for the Youth Fellows First Bike Ride of the Fellowship. We really want to encourage TCC partners and community partners to be a part of our community bike ride. So we wanted to have you guys connect with us. Our idea was to have two separate brainstorming meetings that you could tune into. One would be more so a morning, one in the evening, so that you could basically exchange ideas. Just something to throw out there. Gabby and I kind of brainstormed on the way that maybe a part of the bike ride could be stopping at some of your project sites, having you guys be on board. And it's also a really great tabling opportunity if you don't know how to ride a bike. We're going to be hosting those two brainstorming sessions. But also, if you're just interested in youth fellow support or even involvement on any of our bike rides, we can come up with some really cool themes. Feel free to reach out to me or Gabby, and you can also come up to us after directly too. All right. I'm going to pass it back to Beatrice, I believe, for the displacement avoidance plan.
Thanks, Malia. Maybe we can also have volunteers from the programs to come into the bike rides too, or help tree planting or other projects. So for the ones who are not familiar with this, the city has a displacement avoidance plan. There's three initiatives that are included in here. We have a renter access ordinance, we have a community land trust, and we have a buy local campaign and facade improvement pilot program. On the first initiative, we have been coordinating implementation through our housing fellow. They have been doing data analysis, requests, complaints tracking, program documents, and other aspects of the program with admin and inspection contractors. And then they started coordination to build out the renter inspection program through our internal system, our planning system. And they released a request for proposals so that we can have a transition with the program into having a consultant for doing this work. The community land trust piece is exploring opportunities to enhance the city's partnership with the local community land trust. And then it's investigating opportunities for conceiving land through the neighborhood stabilization program. And it's doing analysis of surplus parcels. That means parcels that the city owns that are empty. To increase the number to see what can be done with those parcels to put out more housing, and they're about to release a request for proposals, and they also updated a draft conception resolution with support of the Housing and Community Development Department and their assistance, and gather information and selected parcels for disposition from other city staff. Last but not least, the buy local campaign team that you have met in the past who has come to present, as well as the facade improvement pilot program, they're still struggling with their insurances. I know everyone in this team with TCC is understanding of this because it's been very difficult to deal with our regulations. I am aware of that, and I am passing it on to our risk management team. And Bess, I know the laugh is because we have really struggled. We all have struggled internally. This is a coordinated effort. So, I mean, they're working on this so that they can get their project start operations. And they also have been leading and facilitating bi-weekly meetings with Renaissance Entrepreneurship, which is the center that is actually operating the program and reviewing applications. And also, giving out the grants. They have been hosting grant webinars and providing grant opportunities to ask questions and clarify parameters. I believe that up to date, they didn't share this with us, but I think they have given away around 15 different grants to business owners. And the total expenditure up to date is $166,000 because we haven't been able to use our money due to the insurance issues that we're facing. And the remaining budget is $515,000. Planned work in the next 2 weeks is to get approval for insurances from Risk Management for the buy local and campaign and facade improvement pilot program, and receive proposals for the transition consultant that is going to help with the rental inspection program, and also release the request for proposals for the community land trust. I think I am going to continue with the Workforce Development and Economic Opportunity Plan. This is actually a coordinated effort with Grid Alternatives. However, we have been discussing with them amendments and modifications on workforce development, but I think Mbesa already shared about the training that is going to be happening with the cohort. And we're going to continue, we have been continuing tabling at the Richmond Rising Hub that is offering city workforce development programs. So if you know anyone who wants to know more about workforce programs that are offered by the city, Alessandro, who's sometimes in this meeting too, has schedules for people to come and ask questions and get placed at programs that they might be interested in for workforce development. And the city has also hosted the Youth Works Fair 2 weeks ago. The total expenditures reported to date is $307,000. Our remaining budget is $1.1 million. The planned work in the next 2 weeks is to continue weekly tabling at the Richmond Rising Hub, offering city workforce development programs, and also submit GRID's workforce development requests to the Strategic Growth Council so we can adjust the goals that we initially had established for this program and try to also hire staff, I believe, for the workforce training that needs to happen. Ambassador, do you want to add anything on the GRID side?
Thank you, Beatrice. So we're currently scheduled to hire both a workforce manager and a workforce coordinator. I'm sorry, two workforce coordinators for the TCC project for this area before the training begins in October. So we'll be posting that widely soon, but just keep your heads up. If anyone wants information about it or knows someone they'd like to recommend, please reach out to me and I can put them in contact with the hiring manager and we can get that going. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Mbessa. All right, so our friends from UC Berkeley are not present today, so I'll go ahead and take over their indicator tracking plan. So their work completed since their last meeting was synthesize feedback from reporting tools, piloted an online dashboard to display TCC progress, updates to Youth Fellows case study, which I think our Youth Fellows participated in, updates to year 2 report, and submitted invoice number 16. Their total expenditures reported to date is $585,000. Their remaining budget, $484,000. Their planned work in the next 2 weeks is finalize their year 2 report and discuss a plan to publicly announce and disseminate TCC dashboard. All right. Do you want to go over the TCC budget? Yeah, I'm going to pass it to Beatrice to go over our TCC budget.
Thank you, Malia. If you remember, we had 2 slides in the past that were requested by our community members, and we're with the budget spent. You now have the percentage of how much is being spent on each of the programs, and I don't think this is actually accurate. Yeah, right. Not for Veggie RX, I'm pretty sure, because you guys have been yeah. Apologies for that, because I think these numbers are not correct, but we will be in the next few weeks, and we will update this for the next slides. Apologies for that. We don't have Eduardo, and it feels really challenging to not have one staff member. He's been on vacation for a week and a half, and Matias wasn't here till today, so I take responsibility for this. We will update for the next meeting the budget and the goals accomplished slides, but the idea is to keep these 2 slides on the next few meetings. So we would really appreciate, the budget part, I think you don't have to do anything because we keep track of that on our side. But on the goals accomplished, we would really appreciate if you let us know the goals that you have in total for your program. If you have one that is clearly established, and then the total amount that you have accomplished till today, so we can start building the goals accomplished table and the period with the budget spent. So we have a little better idea. Some of the projects, you can see, for example, that some of the projects are not updated because we saw the budgets before, and the numbers are there. It's easy to calculate, but we just didn't put the numbers in here. And so we'll commit to have these slides on the next meetings, and I hope this addresses the community requests. And then just for everyone to know on how we put together this slides, it is a collaborative work. We don't do it alone. We get all the partners to provide their information. So when you receive the slide deck, they also receive them and then they fill in the slides. So, shout out to all the partners that always help us put this together. It sometimes takes time because we then have to translate and do numbers. So apologies for the misunderstanding with the goals and the budget, but we will have it for our next meeting. And I'm going to pass it on to Malia.
Awesome. And then really quickly before we report on public comment, I just wanted to shout out, we have our climate health promoter team over in the back. So if everybody could give them kind of a little shout out. Awesome. All right. And then now we're going to go ahead and move on to report out to any community questions or comments received, including responses. So do we have any that have been logged on there or in person?
I don't have any. No.
No. All right. Awesome. Let me make sure. I think it froze. There we go. All right. And then now we're going to move on to our CSC presentation template revisions. We're able to do revisions, right? Okay, perfect. So our lovely team added additional slides for project status updates. They increased the font size for accessibility. They corrected font inconsistencies. So, oh, sorry, Matthias. Here you go. So they corrected font inconsistencies. So the title font, you can see it there, and the body font, they're now consistent. The title font is just a bolded version of the body font. They added informational attention slide, added slides regarding a total budget spent and goals and accomplished, which will also be updated next meeting.
Wait, can you go back? I just wanted to add, so the kind of the main reason we started doing this was to make them more legible to people that are at the meetings. There's a lot of information in these slides, obviously, so we essentially doubled them. We also just wanted to say that we were looking initially at English and Spanish slides so that, we'd all have the same slides, but we decided not to combine them because so many people who share their slides don't do that. And it's already a lot of work to kind of go through and translate things. So we didn't want to make it take more work. I will take this time to please ask everyone to submit timely responses to the slides. It really is a lot harder for us to scramble last minute to do everything. And when nobody gets to look at the slides ahead of time. And so things kind of cascade down, like the dollar amounts not being updated because we're spending our time doing things that we wanted to do last week. Just going to say that. But yeah, and this is also a time if any partners or anyone else from the public have other comments about the slides. I know Terrence has some brewing, but he may not want to share them yet. But we had time and space to try to make them all a little more cohesive and legible. And hopefully, one thing is that we are going to have to print more pages of paper because we doubled the amount of slides. But not everybody needs slides maybe now because they're so big on the screen that we can feasibly read them. Yeah, and then also just wanted to say one other thing, touching on what Beatrice said, the slides will have templates, and some of you saw them, and it'll have kind of like the a key goal for your project with asking for a metric to update it. I saw that some people did add to the metric itself and some people deleted that and just put in their own things. So if you could add to that instead of deleting it, that'd be helpful. Because otherwise we will have to follow up or not include your goals. So, but yeah, are there any other thoughts that people have had about how to improve these slides? Understanding there's a lot of information, but we are trying to make this as accessible as possible. I mean, I think we're at like 60 slides now. Beatrice has a comment.
I also wanted to share with you, we understand this is a very limited screen, particularly for the people who are behind. So Matthias just bought a huge projector for here that is going to be installed in the next couple of weeks. We know that's been a challenge. We did not have the authorization from the state to do it. So he got that. And so we're getting that installed. Matthias is waiting for the carpenter that is going to do that. But it is very fancy. You can tell him more about it.
I am legitimately excited about it. Yeah, we're going to install, it's like a 15-foot wide projector screen that will drop down via a switch that we'll be able to use to present the slides. I'm just as excited for all the other uses the community center will be able to use it for. So that'd be neighborhood councils. They're talking about having like movies or other screenings for kids during the summer. We're super excited about it. It's just one small thing, but it will be very cool. I'm excited. But yeah, it takes a large team of people to do this kind of thing, I'm learning. So there's an electrician, there's a carpenter, there's a few carpenters. We need to actually get like a hydraulic lift. It's very heavy, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm meeting lots of people along the way, and and I'm excited to just improve the space for everyone, not just TCC.
All right, awesome. And then thank you so much, Matthias. That's super sweet. I want to be invited to movie night, please. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to agenda requests for next meeting. I do actually have an agenda request. We have a representative from the All Stars Project coming to offer an opportunity to you guys for trainings in community building and team building. Gabby and I have worked with them in the past with the youth fellows. So did the city team. They basically use theater as an outlet, or theater-based activities as an outlet to promote public speaking, confidence, social interaction, things like that, self-confidence. Gabby and I, Matthias, Beatrice, that was one of the first times I got to meet them. We all bonded and kind of humiliated ourselves, and it was really fun, and you walk away with like a really big dopamine boost afterwards. So I definitely recommend you guys tuning into that presentation next time. Larry's super great, and he'll be presenting. So yeah, for June. But does anyone else have any other agenda requests for next meeting? Gabby? Yeah, so Youth Fellow Committee nominations next month will be our first month with the Youth Fellows participating with us. And we've had some inquiries for some of them to participate on the board. So, yeah.
Will we be able to start requesting their volunteerism starting next month? Awesome. We've been patiently waiting.
So last cohort, I did share out a form where you guys were able to request, and Lorena and Ambessa from Grid Alternatives did use that form. At the moment, it's currently closed, but you guys will receive an email of it reopening. And pretty much same as always, it's going to ask you what organization you're from, how many youth fellows you're requesting, when is your event, their role and how it pertains to your TCC project. Yeah, it's a pretty short form. After that, Malia and I will connect with you, get a little bit more information in order for us to coordinate. And then, yeah, so next month we will finally resume those. Yes.
Thanks, Gabby.
Awesome. And then I believe, did we have a brief presentation prior to announcements or no? Okay, awesome. Oh, you did? No, sorry.
I also wanted to propose for us to present on the our district grant that we're gonna be submitting, since a lot of the partners are part of it. I don't know, Shino, if you would like to share if Rubentil would like to share too. But I mean, I'm proposing for the one that the city is leading to share. I mean, if you guys want to do it too, Shino, feel free to do so. If you don't want, that's also fine. But just for and for the committee to know, and also for the residents to know and see, like, start them informing them what's going to be happening, and sharing that we will have gone to city council by that time. We're presenting on city council to just share the grant application on the 26th of May. So for anyone who's no, May 19th, sorry, apologies. May 19th is going to be our city council presentation. That's it.
Okay. Awesome. Are there any other agenda requests for the next meeting? All right. Awesome. So we will go ahead and move on with our general announcements. So CSC members, members of the public, any of you guys, if there's any announcements that you wanted to make?
I'll just make a quick announcement that Richmond Renaissance, as part of their work doing the Richmond Arts Corridor, will be hosting a free jazz event with musicians from the project area at the Richmond Rising Hub on May 16th, which is a Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following, from 6 to 8 p.m. Everyone will be, sorry, entry is free. Everyone will be welcome.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Do you want me to?
oh, no, sorry.
Do you want my? No.
This is an announcement for the community members on May 16th. Rising Juntos, and yes, we are inviting the community to Nicole Park because we're working on the redesign of the park. We know that that's one of the biggest parks here in Richmond, and it's not being used properly because it's not designed in a way that can benefit everyone. So May 16th, 11:30 to 4:30, there will be food for the first 100 people that come. We will have activities for the children, and we will have raffles. Please come. It is very important. We want to hear your opinion. You can also find us in social media. In the morning, you go to the park, and then in the evening, you go to the jazz.
Tabasa's always been so cool. I used to work with her at another org. She's the best. All right. And then I have an announcement from the Richmond Rising Youth Fellows program as well. So we have our updated flyers over here on the table. If you know like any, youth members of the community, nieces, nephews, and whatnot, as long as they go to school, work, go to church, volunteer, live in the project area, they qualify. Always reach out to me and Gabby because we can try to see how they may qualify. But we still have our positions open. It's a really amazing opportunity for college applications, first job experience. We're doing a lot of like job development, even just kind of like a little more interpersonal training, climate equity. I'm doing a community organizing course. So like it's a really great opportunity for youth in our area, and we've been trying to get the word out as much as possible. It's just limitations with the project area, age restrictions, things like that. So let your nieces, nephews, kids, grandkids who are ages 16 to 24 know. And the updated flyers are back there. If you guys feel comfortable with promoting them with even some of your employees, coworkers, and things like that to kind of spread the word as well, that would be super helpful. Because I believe we have about how many slots left? Maybe 9 slots left? 7? Okay, so we have 7 slots left. And it's just a really great opportunity, and the more the merrier. So oh yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we can totally coordinate. Yeah, we can definitely coordinate about that. That would be an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much. That's so kind. Are there any other general announcements from the committee? Yeah. Oh, yes.
We need, I can pass it.
So I also have, hello everyone, my name is Ariana Morales. I'm a resident down the street, a parent of children at Lincoln Elementary. I'm also the president of the PTA at Lincoln Elementary. This is my first time at this meeting, so thank you, Yvonne, for inviting me and for the presentation. I did wanted to say, I think just as a first-time person coming in, it would be really helpful to be able to have some basic information, background information on each of the funded projects, like the what it is, the purpose, where it's located, goal. Some of that information was included in the slides. I wouldn't necessarily advocate for having all of that information in the slides, but maybe some of it like, yes, thank you. So yeah, background information was what I was looking for of like, okay, I see how much this project is, but where is the universally, community garden? Where is that happening? Or where is the ride going to be? Or for the youth fellow project area,
that's difficult to get in. What is the project area? So there were basic questions like that that I had as a community member. I also was curious about how there may have been incorporation, or if there is or not, incorporation around advocacy to PG&E for grounding of wires, to be able for the community to actually be planting more trees. And at least in front of my home, we've had 2 trees on Bissell Avenue taken down because of PG&E's requirements about wiring. And I've since reached out to Groundwork Richmond a couple times, not gotten a tree yet, but I think I'm worried that even if I have a tree, PG&E will say we need to have it taken down because of not having wires grounded. So as you can see, there's a lot of wires in this community, certainly. And then last, I was interested in kind of the incorporation or inclusion invitation to other organizations here in Richmond that have a lot of crossover overlap with the funded projects and work that's happening with the organizations, in particular with SOS Richmond that's just on the street on Harbor Way, and the Happy Lot Farmer Garden that's also on First and Chancellor, that's done a lot of amazing work in terms of land use redevelopment for the community and community engagement there. And I would also plug that for the bike ride with the youth fellows, they do stop at the Happy Lot Farm and Garden. Would be great. So that's all. Thank you. Did you want to talk about school?
Yeah, I might as well.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Yvonne Arriaga. I'm definitely coming as a concerned parent and a concerned community member. I've grown up here on 6th Street my whole life. I've walked up all the way down McDonald, up and down, going to school and everything. Fortunately, I do have a car now, and I'm not a walker anymore, but I do have a lot of families, my mom, my children's grandmother, who are consistent pedestrians. But now I really want to focus on Lincoln Elementary. Sorry to like really bring a light on that, but I think we do need a lot of support, especially since we are like right next to the Greenway and we are trying to promote the Yellow Brick Road, right? We really do want people to feel safe in the community, to be able to walk in their community. So I know there was like a new little island kind of installed right in front of Lincoln Elementary on Chancellor Avenue, and it got placed right next to our fire lane. And it's creating a really unsafe thing just because the community people themselves are not being patient with themselves, but to the point that they're actually even trying to run over the rocks that's in place so that they do that they slow down. But also like because it's like right next to our crosswalk, we just need, I don't know, maybe more signage, maybe a clear stop sign that added to that. Me personally, what I've actually done myself is try to work with the school time, and I've personally been getting there very early in the morning. My kids on hopefully good attendance roll for that. But setting up cones just to hopefully help alleviate that. So wondering how you guys have any feedback on how I can advocate for traffic enforcement to come out here. And I'd hate to be the one, but maybe we do need to hold people accountable to drive safer. So help, guys. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you do. Yeah. Then I respond to that so that we can.
I was gonna add on to that because yeah, so adding on to what she said, I'm also a parent at Lincoln, and I think it was yesterday, I was actually hit in that island where she was talking about. A car was trying to go around the island and they couldn't because another car was coming, so they ended up backing up into my car. And then I really do want to bring awareness to this because that is walking drop off. So for there to be a lot of cars, like that could have been a child. And then with my sister telling the cars to not park there, as they're moving away, like they're almost hitting pedestrians that are crossing the street. So it's very unsafe. And I just wanted to advocate for that also, because it is a concern, not just because of the kids, more importantly than anything.
Just thank you so much for the feedback. In relationship to the first comments, please let us know how you would like us to share the information about the project. We're happy to put more information. It's just that our meetings sometimes are so long that we don't want to get people bored, the ones who come frequently. But we always have the project map area right here. We have all the flyers, and we're happy to do we sometimes introduce ourselves when we see new people and talk a little bit about our project. I think today we were not aware that we had a lot of new members, so maybe we can definitely do that on the next meetings if that's helpful, and maybe just keep some project descriptions in the back so that people can have them if they're new. We can definitely do that because we already have them. So that's an idea that I have, and if that sounds good, we can have a stack of project descriptions. And then in relationship to the description that you were talking about on Lincoln on Lincoln School, I think what we do in Lincoln Elementary would there's multiple things that we can do. So first, I would highly encourage you all to do the report on the app. The city has an app, and that app has a map, and so you can get exactly into the location. And I would advise you to tell all the parents who have been struggling with this to report it, because the public works team works with a number. So you will receive a number, and then they will respond to you. So that's kind of the most accountable way for you to get a response from them. My other suggestion is, there needs to be sometimes advocacy for this type of work. If you think the school really wants to organize, I'm happy to bring you the engineering team who works on these projects to talk to you about it, and at least let you know what was the idea behind the island that they decide to design. Because I really don't know exactly. I mean, I know the intersection. I just don't remember what they the new modifications that they did, or probably haven't seen them. So if you want to host a meeting or kind of coordinate with me, I'm happy to give you my card. I think you have my card, but if you don't, we can make that happen, or I can invite them to a meeting here too, if that's better, where you invite the schools. So you guys let us know, because I mean, this meeting is for addressing issues that are connected to health, environment, and equity in our community. So I think this is very related. I don't think it goes against of any of the objectives that we have here. So happy to do that if you're interested. Let me know how would you prefer to address it. But I think the first, just put that on the app and report it. And then I think that's it. I hope I addressed what you guys talked about, and I'm passing it on to Gabby.
And then I know one of your questions was getting information about backtracked information. If you go on the City of Richmond website and search up TCC Richmond Rising, all of the agendas and presentations and the video recordings get posted on there, so you're able to look at them from the past months as well.
And then also, you did mention about the bike rides, having information about when they are. Typically during our CSC meetings, Gabby and I will post the flyers here on the back table. But then also, if you follow the Rich City Rides Instagram, that's probably the quickest way to get access to when our dates are. And then in terms of requesting a stop for the bike rides, typically our bike rides, just because of grant constraints, they do have to fall within the project area and be project specific. But if you did have a request for a stop to be on the ride, Gabby and I both are available afterwards for us to take your information for us to consider it being a stop. We do try to prioritize the projects obviously first, but there are a lot of really creative fun rides that we've done in the past, where we've done stops at Miller Knox Park, at the farmers market. We've done pedal and paints and things like that. So that's a really great suggestion, and we'd be happy to take it into consideration. You can just reach out to us afterwards, and we can take that into consideration when we're brainstorming with the youth fellows, because they are the ones who organize our rides. Yeah, does that answer? Okay, perfect. Are there any more comments or questions from the public or any community members? Okay, so should we go ahead and motion to adjourn the meeting? Yeah, motion to adjourn the meeting. All right, meeting adjourned.